Hey guys, I'm going to present you how to do a simple custom virtual keyboard on Qt. So I will do this custom keyboard using QML languages and C++. So this video will only focus on functional and simple part of the keyboard, and I won't be focused on the user interface or user experience, which could be probably be in a new video. So let's go into the code. So first of all, you will need to create a new project by selecting the Qt Quick application. You will have to give a name to your project like custom virtual keyboard. Then you click on next, but don't use the Qt virtual keyboard. Is not what we want now. We want to do our custom virtual keyboard. So after this, you say next and you continue, and you will have your project. So in this project, you will have at this stage you will need to create two most important QML files: the keyboard.qml, keyboardcontroller.qml. So the keyboard.qml, which is the file which contains the code to create and render the keyboard, and the keyboard controller, this file will let us have the capability instantiate and destroy, show or hide the keyboard and give it the correct position and size. The custom button keyboard is made to instantiate the virtual keyboard's button, which is the custom button. But of course, if you dislike the style or you want to use the basic button, you can do as you want. This is a personal button keyboard. So now the most important part is the keyboard itself. So we will create a rectangle, which is the background. The background, I choose a gray color. And then for the height, I choose to give it 40% of the total size of the windows. So when we appear, we occupy 40%. We anchor this keyboard on the bottom and occupy all of the width of the parents. So after this, we need to create some property to give it the row spacing, color spacing, shift symbols, which is a boolean to change into symbols or not, and the number of row and column. So we use on the keyboard 10 columns and 4 rows. I give a name for this Unicode a render for the shift and the backspace. And then we will use a model for the keyboard to help here us display the data. So the model is part of the MVC design pattern. So what's the MVC design pattern? So in the MVC design pattern, you have the controller, the view, and the model. So the view is what the user can see. The model is the data which is used as the view, and the controller is the interface on the view and the model. So in this part, we'll focus on the model. So in this model, we have a text, which is the text of the button, but also we have the symbol. So it's when you click, I will show you right now, it will be easier for you. So on this application, if you click on this, you have A, but if you click on symbol, you have 1, which is what you can see on the model. So you repeat this action for every row you want till you finish. So here we have 4 rows, like in the custom virtual keyboard. So after you finish the model, let's go to the interesting part, which is the render of the keyboard. So on the keyboard, you will need to create one column, and on this one column you have 4 rows. You will have in this 4 rows the repeater, which will include the model keyboard on the model part, and on the delegate part we will give the custom button keyboard, which will be the one I was talking just before. It's just a custom, you can use whatever you want, but the most interesting part is here, that you will need to give a width and height, and I won't go into the detail, but the width and the height will move automatically when the size of the window will change. So you will repeat this action for the 4 rows in the keyboard, and after this you will have a connection. So when you click on a button, a signal is emitted. So if you are not so familiar with signal and slot, I invite you to visit the documentation of Qt to know how it works. But here's the case: when you send the signal, click it, you have a connection, we receive this signal, and we will check what's inside the text. If the text is a symbol, we just change the value of the boolean, or if it's a return, you can send accepted is another signal, which I didn't use now, but you can use if you want. But the important part is this: when you click on the button, you want to emit a key event. So here is the class, which don't worry, I will present you later. But it's the simple C++ class which allow me to create a key event and send it to the convenient target, which is the reference of the text input. So to access to this class, you will need to go to the main.cpp and add these 2 lines. So now your keyboard is ready, and let's move to the controller. So the controller, this file will let you instantiate the keyboard with the function show and hide the keyboard with the function hide. So this controller will give the target to the keyboard here. So the target is the text input. So with this text input, the keyboard can send the key event, and the text input can show this event and show the later appears on the text input. So let's move to the main.qml. So on the main.qml, you have the window. In this window, you have a rectangle which include text input. So basically, I just give a background to the text input with a blue color. I give the text input to the target on the keyboard controller, and the root object is the Windows main. So when the Windows is ready, we start to show the keyboard controller, and when we launch this app, we have this window. So basically you can use uppercase, lowercase, space. You can use whatever you want, and each time you click on the button, a key event is emitted and you receive on the target and text input. so you can have symbol if you want. So is this what it is? It's a simple virtual keyboard, and I hope you enjoy, guys. So